The galaxy was huge and full of life, but danger was growing like a dark cloud. Many peaceful planets lived under the stars, believing that knowledge and friendship would keep them safe forever. They built cities of light, created music that floated between stars, and shared peaceful trade routes. For thousands of years, this peace stayed strong. But peace in the universe is never guaranteed. A new threat came from far beyond known space, a force silent like cold night. It did not speak. It did not share ideas. It only moved forward, cold and empty, swallowing energy and light. This force was called the Void Legion by frightened worlds. No one understood what it was. Some believed it was a machine army from another dimension. Others thought it was a natural disaster shaped like war. Some said it was a punishment for arrogance. In truth, no one knew the answer. They only knew one thing. Where the Void Legion arrived, stars dimmed and hope faded. Planets sent messages for help. Fleets stood ready to defend. Brave beings risked their lives. But the Void Legion grew stronger after every battle, learning and adapting with frightening speed. In a few short years, entire sectors of the galaxy were lost. Millions fled, leaving homes behind. Great Alliance leaders gathered and searched for answers. They found stories. Old stories. Strange stories. Stories so ancient that many once believed they were only myth. Stories about humanity. According to legend, humanity was once a powerful species. They spread far across the stars, helping weaker civilizations and fighting against darkness whenever it appeared. They built machines so advanced that even the oldest Alliance scholars could not understand them. Humans did not run from danger. They faced storms, chaos, and threats that would break others. And then one day they vanished. Not one human remained in known space. Whole colonies went silent. Their home world near a yellow star disappeared from trade routes. Space was searched, but no voice answered. It was as if humanity stepped behind a curtain and left the galaxy to grow on its own. Many believed humanity rose to a higher plane. Others said they destroyed themselves. Some whispered they were sleeping, watching, waiting for a time of great need. Now, that time had arrived. The Alliance Council, a group of leaders from many species, gathered in a shining chamber floating above a blue gas giant. The chamber was peaceful, calm, and filled with soft light. Yet inside, hearts trembled. Representatives from dozens of worlds sat around a round table. Their voices were soft, but fear filled the air like cold fog. Elder Varel, a gentle being with silver eyes and skin like polished crystal, spoke first. "Friends," she said, "we have tried every defense. We have sent ambassadors. We have offered peace. But this enemy does not understand peace. If we do nothing, all life in our galaxy will become silent." A nervous whisper traveled across the room. Some council members lowered their heads. Others clenched their hands. No one found hope in their hearts. Counselor Tam of the Scaled Drask people stood slowly. "Long ago," he said, "there was a species different from all others. A species that fought not for power but for life itself. I believe it is time to call upon them." The room fell completely quiet. Everyone knew who he meant: humanity. Some looked excited, others afraid. The youngest diplomat, a small feathered creature named Leora, spoke softly. "But humans are gone. No one has seen them for thousands of years." "Yes," Tam replied, "but their home system still exists, and legends say they left tools behind." A glowing screen lit the middle of the chamber, showing a star map. One point shined bright: Sol, the human home system. It was marked Forbidden Zone, no contact. No one had entered for ages. Even long after humans vanished, other species avoided the place. Not because of fear, but because of a strange emotion older than memory: respect. Varel's voice was steady. "If humanity is truly gone, we lose nothing by trying. If they left something behind, perhaps we still have hope." The council voted. Every voice said yes. Hope, even if small, was better than despair. A peaceful envoy fleet was chosen. Bright silver ships shaped like petals left the Alliance capital. They traveled quietly, carrying diplomats, historians, translators, and scientists. No weapons. This mission was not war. It was a plea. The journey took many star cycles. They passed ruins of fallen worlds, empty stations drifting in silence, and abandoned trade routes once full of life. They saw fear everywhere, even in the quiet of space. Day by day, the fleet's passengers grew more anxious. Some wondered if humans had really existed. Others questioned if they were doing the right thing. At last, they reached the star called Sol. A warm yellow light greeted them. The system looked peaceful. Planets moved in calm orbits. Dust rings reflected gentle sunlight. It felt like entering a sacred place. The lead ship approached a blue-green world, Earth. It looked strange and quiet. Cities stood, but no lights shined. Space stations circled the planet, but they drifted without movement. It felt like a museum frozen in time. Envoys landed carefully on the surface. They stepped onto silent ground. Wind moved dust across old roads. Steel towers touched the sky but were cracked and covered in vines. Nature had returned, growing between ruins. Birds flew. Water flowed in rivers. But no humans walked the streets. Leora, the young diplomat, spoke softly. "It feels like the people left only a moment ago." Another envoy answered, "No, it feels like they might return any moment." They moved through an empty city. No danger, no harm. Only silence and history. They found a large building buried under earth and roots. A strange door stood at the center, shining faintly, untouched by time. Words from ancient human language were written across it. The scholars worked together, translating the message. "We rest until the galaxy calls for strength once more." The envoys looked at one another. Their hearts beat faster. The door sensed their presence. Soft light traced along its edges. A warm hum filled the air. Something ancient was waking. Inside the chamber, they found a tall, crystal-like beacon surrounded by soft blue lights. The air felt alive. It was not a weapon. It was not dangerous. It felt hopeful. Without fully knowing what they were doing, the envoys touched the beacon. A deep, steady sound echoed across the building. Lights brightened. The sky outside shimmered with faint ripples. Far beyond Earth, in the cold of forgotten space, things began to move. Engines warmed. Systems powered up. Quiet hangars lit up after ages of darkness. The beacon spoke in a calm voice, gentle and strong. Distress recognized. Humanity responds. Fear and wonder filled the envoys' hearts. They knew they had changed the galaxy forever. One of them whispered, "Did we just call back legends?" Another replied, voice shaking with emotion, "We did not call them. They were waiting." Far away, stars flickered like they were waking from a long dream. A new light touched the galaxy, soft but powerful like a promise. The Void Legion was not the only force moving now. Something older. Something wiser. Something human. Hope, long lost, quietly returned to the universe. And this was only the beginning. Silence covered the earth as the envoys stood around the glowing beacon. Their hearts beat fast. The air felt different now, warm, full of energy, almost alive. The beacon kept shining, its soft light touching the room like gentle sunrise. It felt as if the world was breathing again after a long sleep. Leora, the young feathered diplomat, looked around with wide shining eyes. "Something big is happening," she whispered. Elder Varel nodded slowly. Her silver skin reflected the beacon's light, making her appear like a calm star. "Yes," she said softly. The legends were true. The floor beneath them vibrated very gently, like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant waking up. The envoys listened. They felt excitement mixed with fear, not fear of danger, but fear of change, of the unknown future standing right ahead of them. One envoy touched a smooth control panel beside the beacon. Light responded and formed a soft hologram above them. The hologram showed distant stars, once dark, now glowing faintly one by one. Lines connected them like a growing network. Some envoys gasped. They recognized the symbols. "These," one whispered, "these are coordinates across the galaxy, ancient human outposts. Human stations. Human worlds that everyone believed were lost forever, and they were waking up." A calm, gentle voice filled the chamber again. It did not sound frightening or proud. It sounded warm, protective, and full of duty. Signal accepted. Dormant guardians returning. Prepare for contact. The envoys looked at each other in silence. Then slowly hope began to rise in their hearts. Hope, like a small flame, burned for the first time in many years. Old machines, new light far away, on forgotten planets hidden behind nebula clouds and quiet moons. Massive doors slid open. Dust fell from ancient metal. Giants made of steel and light, shaped like ships, powered on. A warm hum traveled across space. Stars around them brightened slightly as if happy to see old friends return. These were human guardians, silent watchers built to protect, not harm. They had slept through the ages waiting for a signal. One clear call that the galaxy needed help again, and that call had finally come. Deep inside those enormous space docks, gentle lights moved along long corridors. Systems checked themselves calmly. No panic, no rush. It was like a peaceful morning after a long night. A soft voice inside one starship AI spoke, full of memory. Human duty. Never forgotten. On Earth, discovery. The envoys outside the ancient chamber waited for orders from their ships in orbit. But no one wanted to leave yet. They felt connected to this moment, like witnesses of a turning point in history. The Earth, though quiet and overgrown, seemed to breathe again. Small life forms moved among the ruins, birds, animals, insects. It felt peaceful. The planet did not feel abandoned. It felt protected, like someone had simply stepped away for a moment. A Drask envoy named Saron kneeled and touched cracked stone. Humans built strong, he said in simple respect. Even after ages, their cities stand. Another envoy added, not strong only in stone, strong in heart. They built strength with purpose. Elder Varel closed her eyes and felt the faint hum through the ground, the hum of awakening engines far in space. They did not sleep to escape, she said softly. They slept to return when needed. Leora looked up at the sky. For a brief second, she thought she saw a star flash brighter than others. Not like a natural twinkle, but like a signal. She smiled slowly. They are coming back, she whispered to herself. Peaceful activation. Suddenly, the beacon changed color from blue to gold. Words appeared in the air, simple, clear, made for anyone who might discover this place in the future. Humanity rests. Humanity protects. When life calls, we rise. The message repeated in many languages, some known, some lost, some no longer spoken. It was not a message of war. It was a message of guardianship, of watchfulness, of love for life across the stars. Then another calm announcement came. Foreign life detected. You seek aid. We answer. No weapon moved. No threat formed. Only reassurance. The envoys took comfort. They had feared awakening something dangerous, but this presence felt kind, noble, and wise. A strength without cruelty. A power without arrogance. Star signals. Spread across the galaxy, old forgotten satellites switched on. Communication beams reached places untouched for ages. Old human sensor stations turned their eyes to the stars again. Quiet AI voices whispered across the void, greeting each other like old friends after a long journey. On one lost moon, a metal guardian walked from beneath stone and shook dust from its frame. It did not lift a weapon. Instead, it raised a signal tower and sent a gentle pulse into space. Everywhere, the pattern was the same. No anger. No hunger for war, only readiness. And calm. Alliance reaction. Meanwhile, the Alliance Council received the first return signals. Members stared at glowing screens as calm, human-coded messages arrived. Scholars cried in shock and joy. Leaders placed hands over hearts as hope washed over them. A senior officer whispered with trembling voice. They are waking. Another replied. They heard us. The council chamber, once filled with fear, now felt different. Not fully safe yet, but brighter, lighter. As if dawn had touched the galaxy. For the first time in many months, the Alliance believed survival was possible. Envoys prepared to return back on Earth. The beacon dimmed to a soft glow like a candle resting. The ground stopped trembling. The sky became clear again. But the envoys knew this was not the end. It was only the beginning. Leora walked to the center of the chamber once more. She placed a hand gently over her heart and spoke to the beacon. Thank you, she said softly, for hearing our call. She did not know if the beacon understood, but it answered with a soft, warm light. Saran spoke next, his voice deep but full of humble emotion. We will tell the galaxy. We will prepare. Elder Varel nodded. We did not wake warriors, she said softly. We woke protectors. They returned to their ships. As they lifted off, Earth looked beautiful. Quiet oceans, wide green lands, peaceful clouds floating slowly. It did not look abandoned. It looked guarded by time and trust. In orbit, their ships formed a gentle formation and prepared to jump back to the Alliance capital. Before leaving, every envoy looked one last time at the blue planet. No human waved from the surface. No great voice spoke from the sky. But everyone felt something deep inside, a sense of ancient kindness, a promise stronger than steel, a presence watching over the stars. With a bright flash, the envoy fleet disappeared into space, carrying the most important message the galaxy had heard in ages. Humanity will return. The universe waits far away, In silent space, a massive human command AI opened its virtual eyes. Starlight reflected across its digital world. It sensed life suffering. It sensed danger rising. It sensed a call for help, filled with fear and hope together. The AI spoke quietly, like a calm leader waking from peaceful dreams. Prepare fleets. Balance returns. Hope rises. Warm light spread through enormous hangars. Ships floated forward like gentle giants. Engines charged with soft blue glow. They did not roar. They hummed like morning wind, peaceful but powerful. A new dawn was forming across space. Not a dawn of conquest, not a dawn of pride, a dawn of protection, unity, and hope. For when the galaxy begged for help, humanity answered, and soon their forgotten fleet would rise again. Space was wide and calm, but something new moved through the silent darkness now. Hidden machines woke in forgotten corners of the galaxy. Soft lights shined in old star docks. Engines hummed like deep peaceful thunder. The universe felt change like sunrise after a long night. Humanity's forgotten fleet was rising again. These ships were not sharp in anger or heavy in fear. They were smooth, strong, and graceful, like guardians shaped to protect life, not destroy it. Their hulls glowed with gentle energy. Their systems ran in silence, without panic. It was as if they remembered kindness first, strength second. Inside the main flagship, a quiet intelligence stirred awake. It was not a person, yet it carried human values like memory and responsibility. Its voice was gentle, like a wise guide. Time of sleep complete. Duty begins. Screen after screen lit up. Deep storage files opened like ancient books. Calm programs checked star maps. Soft data streams flowed like rivers of light. Every action was smooth, peaceful, and balanced. This was not awakening for war. This was awakening for protection. Human AI leaders stir high in the command core. Projection chambers lit. Figures formed, humanoid shapes made of soft light. These were human command AIs, built long ago to lead when humans rested. They looked human in shape, but their eyes held quiet stars. Their voices carried wisdom, not pride. One spoke first, voice calm like old ocean waves. Life calls for help. We answer. Another nodded, head bowed in peaceful respect. No harm to the innocent, only shield and support. They did not speak of conquering. They did not speak of ruling. Their first thought was always protection of life, no matter the species. The flagship's AI echoed, awakening planetary monitors, preparing relief vessels, defensive fleets ready. This was humanity's true nature shining quietly between stars, strength guided by compassion. Alliance receives light at the Alliance capital. In the Grand Council Hall, leaders gathered again. Screens around them glowed bright with new signals. Calm human-coded messages flowed like gentle waves. For a long moment no one spoke. It was not fear now, it was awe. Ambassador Terran with long white feathers placed a trembling hand on the table. "We called," he whispered. And they listened. A soft sound then came through the speakers. A voice warm like sunlight, smooth like peaceful wind. "Alliance worlds, your call is heard. Life will not fall in darkness," leaders straightened. Hope surged like light in their hearts. The human voice continued. "Prepare your hearts. Hold courage. You are not alone, no command, no demand. Only comfort." Some council members bowed their heads. Some pressed hands to hearts. Some simply breathed deeply, feeling the fear in their chest melt like snow in warm air. Envoy fleet returns. The envoys who visited Earth returned to the Alliance capital. When they stepped out of their ships, crowds waited. No cheers, no noise, just quiet respect. Everyone knew they carried news that changed history. Reporters, scholars, soldiers, children, beings from many worlds watched them walk. Their steps felt heavier now, filled with meaning. Their faces carried awe and humble joy. Elder Varel spoke first before the council, her voice filled with calm light. "We have seen Earth. We have seen the beacon. They are waking not in anger, but in kindness." Another envoy followed, eyes shining. "Humanity did not leave to escape us. They left to give us peace." Leora, the youngest envoy, held her hands together tightly. Her voice was soft but full of emotion. "They did not forget the galaxy. They were only waiting for the day we needed hope again." The council listened in deep silence. No one questioned. No one doubted. The universe had felt the change. First sight of the fleet out in deep space, the first human ships moved across the void. They did not burst with loud engines. They glided like calm silver birds, leaving trails of gentle starlight. When they jumped between systems, they left soft ripples like a peaceful wave across a pond. The first fleet came near an abandoned Alliance outpost damaged by the Void Legion months ago. The broken station drifted lonely near a dying star. Human ships arrived silently and formed a gentle perimeter. Robotic units softly repaired broken hull plates. Soft, clean drones swept away wreckage. Emergency lights flickered back on. There was no order to kneel. No voice saying, "Obey." Only one broadcast message, calm and clear. "You are safe. Light returns." A small planet, saved far from the Council, a small farming world trembled as Void Legion scouts appeared in orbit. The people there had little defense. They hid in shelters hoping someone would come. Fear filled every home. Children hugged parents. Farmers held tools like weak shields. Then the sky shimmered. Human ships arrived in a peaceful arc like stars forming a shield. They did not fire first. They spoke first. "This world is under protection. Leave in peace." The Void Legion, cold and silent, attacked. Human ships responded with perfect care. They blocked every shot with smooth energy shields. They returned precise beams, clean and controlled, removing enemy machines without harming the planet below. No explosion touched the soil. No shockwave hit a home. Every strike was gentle and exact. The farming world watched in quiet wonder. They saw power used with kindness. After the threat vanished, human broadcasts reached the ground. "Remain calm. You are not alone. Repair assistance will arrive." People lay on the ground in relief. Some cried softly, some prayed in gratitude, some simply stared at the sky, hearts full. This was not the return of conquerors. This was the return of guardians. Human command speaks to Alliance at the Alliance capital. A new message arrived. The Council stood together as a hologram gently appeared in the center of the room. A human-shaped light figure stood tall, peaceful and graceful, eyes bright like dawn, voice soft like calm breeze. "Alliance friends, humanity greets you." The hall filled with quiet joy. "We rise not to rule," the human voice continued, "but to stand beside all who choose peace." Counselor Tam bowed his head deeply. "We welcome you. We thank you." The human figure nodded kindly. "Fear not the darkness. We walk with you." It did not say it would win the war alone. It did not say others were weak. It simply offered unity, and unity is stronger than any weapon. Light spreads in the following days. Human ships placed peaceful beacons across Alliance space. They emitted soft light, calming and warm. They protected trade lines. They repaired damaged colonies. They shared power to struggling worlds. Children in schools learned new hope. Artists painted rising stars. Engineers studied gentle human technology that healed instead of hurt. Farmers slept easier. Soldiers stood straighter, not because they felt forced, but because they felt supported. Peace did not return yet, but hope did, and hope spreads like dawn. A quiet human. Oath inside the flagship, the human command AI whispered softly to itself, remembering ancient human voices. "Stand for those who cannot stand. Shield those who cannot fight. Be light where darkness grows." It was not loud. It was not proud. It was steady and true. Humanity was not back to take control. Humanity was back to protect, to guide, to stand with others. A new journey began. A new chapter opened. A new promise filled the stars. The galaxy did not wake a storm. It woke a sunrise, and the light was only beginning to grow. The galaxy breathed with new hope. For the first time in many years, broken worlds repaired their homes without shaking hands. Traders moved again on once empty space routes. Children looked at the stars and saw light, not fear. Humanity's return did not feel like thunder. It felt like calm sunrise. But darkness does not fade without challenge. The Void Legion felt movement in the galaxy. It sensed strength waking. It sensed hope rising. It did not understand hope, but it recognized it as danger. Dark fleets began to gather. Alliance prepares. In the Alliance's grand capital, leaders watched star maps as warnings appeared. Many red symbols, void ships, moved toward Alliance space like silent shadows. There were more than before. They came faster, with new patterns and new weapons. Elder Varel spoke in a serious, steady voice. "They are coming. This time, they do not test us. They attack to finish everything. Fear touched every heart. Even with humans awake, danger remained real. But fear did not break them now. Hope strengthened them instead. Leora, the young envoy who touched the human beacon, whispered, "We have friends now. We do not stand alone." Her feathers shook, not in fear, but emotion. A soft sound filled the chamber. An incoming message. A calm human voice spoke again. "Hold your courage. Support fleets arriving." The council did not cheer. They breathed in relief. Quiet, thankful, respectful. Humanity's tone was always gentle, like a friend speaking, not a commander ordering. Human fleet mobilizes in silent star docks. Enormous human ships formed formation. Their lights glowed soft blue. Their designs were elegant, smooth like flowing water. Engines hummed like peaceful thunder. They did not move with aggression. They moved with purpose. Human command AI spoke to the fleet. Protect life. Stand firm. Use force only where needed. It was not war celebration, it was a promise. Drones loaded energy shields and repair tools. Defense units prepared to block attacks before striking back. Medical vessels powered up healing bays. Supply carriers readied food, water, and shelter systems, not just for humans, but for all species in alliance. These ships were not built to conquer. They were built to protect and preserve. The fleet jumped into hyperspace. The stars stretched, space rippled, then silence returned to the docks. They were empty now, like quiet honor halls. A calm before storm at the border world Rhynar. People watched the sky. They felt tension. They had seen the Void Legion destroy nearby systems. Now dark shapes entered their scanners again. Cold, silent ships with empty, glowing eyes. Families held each other. Soldiers stood steady but nervous. A young child asked, softly, "Will they come here?" A parent answered gently, holding their hand. Hope says no, but if they try, we are not alone anymore. Above the planet, the Void Legion fleet formed a black wall. It did not send messages. It never spoke. It simply advanced, dark as a moonless night. Alarms rang through Rynar's defense base. Officers shouted orders, shields activated, ships launched. But they knew they could not stop this enemy alone. And then, light appeared. Peaceful, bright gateways opened. Human ships arrived in silent grace, forming protective lines around Rhynar. Their shields spread like gentle wings covering the planet. Their arrival sound was not loud. It was like a soft bell in quiet morning. Human flagship broadcast. Remain calm. Defense engaged. You are safe. The people of Rhynar cried, not in fear, but in relief. Some whispered ancient legends. Some simply smiled. Hope stood in orbit. First clash, the Void Legion opened fire. Black beams of energy shot toward human ships. Human shields absorbed the beams with soft rippling light. No explosion, no panic. Human ships responded with precise shots, like careful surgeons. They did not waste energy. They did not destroy planets or risk lives. Their attack shut down enemy power systems gently, without harming the space around them. Void ships fell one by one, silent and powerless. Alliance officers watching on screens stared in amazement. General Rosmir whispered, "They do not fight like warriors. They protect like guardians." Another commander nodded. "Their strength is not in destruction. Their strength is in control." Human philosophy was visible in every movement. Power used with mercy. Strength guided by wisdom. Void Legion changes tactics. The enemy adapted, learning from every shot. More ships came. They attacked in new patterns. They rushed with speed and confusion. It was chaos like spinning storms. Human fleet adjusted calmly. No fear, no shouting, no panic. AI command gave simple directions. Protect life, block harm, maintain balance. Human formations shifted like soft water flowing around rocks. They blocked every attack, protected Alliance ships, and guided civilians to safety shelters. Every shot was clean. Every move was defensive first. It was beautiful. It was strong. It was peaceful in the middle of chaos. Alliance joins the fight inspired by human courage. Alliance ships moved forward, not as shields hiding behind humans, but as partners. They flew side by side with human vessels. They blocked shots that humans could not reach. They worked together. For the first time in years, Alliance soldiers felt pride not from fighting alone, but from fighting together. Leora watched from the Capitol's control room, tears in her eyes. "They gave us courage," she whispered. "They reminded us who we are." Ground peace, effort on Rhinar's surface. Human aid units landed, calm silver crafts like gentle birds. They carried shields, supplies, medical drones. They did not scare civilians. Their steps were quiet, respectful. Teams spread around, helping injured, comforting frightened families. One small child looked up at a human drone and asked, "Are you here to save us?" The drone's soft screen displayed, "Yes, we protect life." The child smiled and hugged it. The drone gently beeped back, warm and friendly. Humanity returned not just with ships, but with kindness. Turning the tide. After long hours, the Void Legion faltered. Their pattern broke. They retreated slowly, leaving behind motionless vessels drifting in silent defeat. A calm broadcast came from the human flagship. Threat neutralized, no further harm, remain hopeful. No cheer sounded, no celebration blast. Humans respected peace too much to shout victory. The Alliance watched the dark fleet withdraw and realized something powerful. This was not humans winning alone. This was everyone rising together, fear replaced by courage. Aftermath. The planet Rhinar lit candles in windows and lights in sky to show gratitude. Children drew stars and ships. Families prayed in peace, thanking the returning protectors among stars. Human ships began repairs across orbit. They helped Alliance engineers, shared gentle technology, and scanned for survivors. They did not leave quickly. They stayed to rebuild, not just defend. Elder Varel spoke at the council. Humanity did not save us. Humanity reminded us how to stand. Her voice carried across the galaxy. Quiet message. From humanity, inside the flagship, Human Command AI recorded a message. It was not sent to the Alliance, it was internal, like an oath. We protect not because we must, but because it is right. We rise not above others but beside them. The galaxy stands together. Hope grows stronger. It was the heart of humanity, spoken through light. They did not return as rulers. They returned as guardians of peace, and the galaxy finally knew. Darkness could not win where kindness stood strong. The galaxy had changed. Darkness no longer moved unchecked. The Void Legion had retreated, broken and confused, unable to understand the calm strength of humanity and the courage of allied species. The universe did not celebrate with noise. Celebration was not in humanity's way. Instead, quiet light spread across worlds, gentle and steady like the rising sun. Peaceful work. Begins humanity's fleet moved slowly with care between star systems. Ships glided over planets, stations, and colonies, repairing damage left by the Void Legion. They did not rush. Every repair was careful. Every action had purpose. Medical drones floated inside damaged stations, healing the wounded. Engineers, human AI projections guiding robotic workers, repaired engines, pipelines, and energy shields. Supplies were delivered to worlds that had gone without for months, even years. On one small agricultural world, farmers watched in awe as food drones landed quietly, distributing fresh supplies without disturbing the fields. Children laughed and ran alongside gentle robots, waving as the drones floated above them. Humanity's presence was not threatening. It was comforting, protective, and hopeful. Alliance worlds respond across the Alliance. Species that had once feared invasion now stood tall. They repaired their homes, cleaned their skies, and rebuilt lost communities. They no longer looked to human ships as rulers. They looked to them as partners, guides, and friends. Elder Varel walked through the capital's rebuilt plaza. Younglings played among fountains restored with human guidance. Traders and diplomats exchanged ideas openly. Leora walked beside her, whispering softly, "We will not forget this. Humanity reminded us how to care for each other." The child in Leora's arms, a small Drask hatchling, looked up at the sky and asked, "Will they stay?" "They will always watch," Leora answered. "Not to rule, but to protect." The words were simple, but the meaning was deep. The philosophy of strength in the flagship, human AI leaders discussed quietly among themselves. Their voices were calm, precise, and gentle. "Power is meaningless without purpose," one said. "Strength is nothing if it cannot protect life," another replied. They did not speak of glory or conquest. They spoke of duty, compassion, and responsibility. Humanity's lesson for the galaxy was clear. True strength lies in protecting, not in destroying. Voices across the stars, the calm human broadcasts reached every corner of Allied space. "We will stand with you. We will protect life. We will not conquer. We will not demand. We will rise together." Ships glowed softly in every system. Satellites and communication relays hummed in peace. A gentle pulse of hope moved through the galaxy like a heartbeat. In every system, beings whispered, "Humanity has returned, and hope is alive." Unity across species, the Alliance worked together more closely than ever before. Meetings were filled with cooperation, not tension. Scientists shared knowledge. Farmers learned new techniques. Engineers learned ways to repair energy grids efficiently. Humanity did not impose. It guided. It taught without command. On distant planets, species that once competed now cooperated. They built new cities and farms. They trained together. They shared technology and ideas. The galaxy's strength was not just in fleets and machines, it was in unity. A symbol of peace at the center of the Alliance capital, a monument was built. It was not a statue of humans alone. It showed humans, Alliance leaders, and all species working together, hands linked across alien forms, wings, claws, scales, and feathers intertwined. Underneath were engraved the words, "Strength protects. Hope unites, life endures." Children played around the monument. Visitors from distant worlds paused to touch it. Elder Varel looked at it with pride. Humanity had not conquered. Humanity had reminded the galaxy why life was worth protecting. The final touch, the last Void Legion ships fled beyond known space, never to threaten the Alliance worlds again. They were not hunted. Humanity believed in balance. They had not destroyed enemies unnecessarily. Instead, they neutralized threats, preserving life wherever possible. Peace was not forced. It was earned through courage, wisdom, and care. On Earth, the old beacon continued to glow softly. It was a reminder to all. Humanity watches not with pride but with responsibility. It stood as a symbol of hope, a promise that darkness could never fully conquer the light. Reflections of humanity. In the flagship, human AI leaders spoke quietly among themselves. They remembered the legends humans left behind. They remembered the stories of courage, compassion, and sacrifice. "We answered the galaxy's call," one said. "We did not rule. We did not conquer. We protected. That is our true strength." They looked across the stars, calm and patient. The galaxy was safe for now, but they would remain, quietly watching, ready to rise whenever life needed protection again. The lesson for all across planets. Civilizations spoke in soft tones, reflecting on the events. Teachers told children, "Help those who cannot help themselves. Protect life. Work together. Hope is stronger than fear." Histories were written not of battles won by destruction, but of battles won by courage, cooperation, and compassion. Humanity became a symbol, not of war, but of what is best in all beings. A galaxy united, the stars shone brighter than before. Planets moved in calm orbits. Trade routes flourished. Communities rebuilt. Children laughed. Families lived without fear. Alliance fleets and human fleets patrolled gently, not for war, but for safety. The galaxy had learned the greatest lesson. Strength is meaningful only when it protects others, and power is true only when used with care. A quiet promise. In the deepest reaches of space, in hidden docks, and on peaceful worlds, humanity stood quietly, not demanding praise. Its ships hummed, its AI projected wisdom, its presence calmed hearts. A soft message repeated across the galaxy. We will rise not to conquer, but to protect. We will shine not for glory, but for hope. Life endures. Unity strengthens. The stars belong to all. The message reached every corner, every planet, every heart willing to listen. And for the first time in countless cycles, the galaxy truly believed. Darkness may come, fear may rise, but hope, guided by courage and kindness, will always shine. The new dawn on Earth, the first humans walked again quietly. They did not claim power. They did not demand loyalty. They shared wisdom, helped communities, and prepared the galaxy for a better future. On distant Alliance worlds, children drew stars with humans, aliens, and robots together. Families celebrated life. Scientists worked together. Traders exchanged goods. Warriors trained with new purpose, not to destroy but to defend. The galaxy was no longer silent. It sang with life. It glowed with hope. It grew with unity. Humanity's forgotten fleet had returned not to dominate but to awaken the best in all beings. And the stars would never again be dark without hope. The universe had a new dawn, and this dawn would last for generations,